Welcome to the Somerset Roundtable. I'm John Rothwell, and I'm joined by my co-host, Holly McNamara. Our show is a spin-off of the Positively Somerset Facebook page, and the intent of the show is to communicate, inform, and highlight all things happening in town, as well as discuss local events and issues and allow citizens, business owners, nonprofits, and town department heads to have a voice. Now over to my co-host, Holly, who will introduce our guest and show topic.
Hi everybody. Today we have with us our special guests, Annie and Frank Prescott from Annie's Unique Boutique, the founders, the proud founders, and also the our other guests and spectators, Shorty and the Twisted Sisters, right? Yeah. So they have a lot going on at the store. They don't just sell clothing, but they do a lot of other really cool things. They sell jewelry and apparel as well. Accessories, but they have some really cool initiatives going on, and kind of wanted to talk to you both about how you founded Annie's Unique Boutique and kind of how it's grown and what you're working on now.
Well, it was started. It wasn't originally Annie's Unique Boutique. Annie taught English at Durfee for 35 years, and she started about 20 years ago making jewelry at home at night. And we started out doing a couple of craft shows a year to sell the jewelry, but then when she retired in 2008, we rented a studio at the Narrows Center for the Arts and opened there under the name of Annie's Artifacts. And we were there for 4.5 years, and then about 3.5 years ago decided to look for a store and found the space that we're at now in front of Walgreens and the post office. And we'll be there 4 years in December.
That's a great location.
It is.
And tell us a little bit about the signs. You have some really unique boutique. You have some really fun sayings. They make me laugh every single time. Who comes up with those?
we got a sidewalk sign about 3 years ago, maybe. We hadn't been open too long, and a consignment store over in Swansea was closing, and the owners were moving to North Carolina or someplace, and they were selling off a lot of their equipment, the clothing racks and the clothes hangers, and they were selling their sidewalk sign. So I bought the sidewalk sign, and initially just had the Annie's open, in the hours, and just a really dull, drab sign. But I try not to do too many things that are dull and drab, so it wasn't too long after that I saw a post, probably on Facebook or something, and I liked it, and so I decided to put that on the sign for that day, that particular day. And we have with the sign, it only has 7 lines and 10 letters to a line, so regardless of what I find, I usually have to tweak it to make it fit the sign. So sometimes I'll come up with the stuff on my own. Sometimes I have a brother out in California who he posts a lot on Facebook, and he comes up with some pretty wacky stuff. So sometimes I take his, and I have a couple of websites that I go to that I'll get the idea for the sign, but again, usually have to tweak it to make it fit. And there's also a site called holidayinsights.com that I go to frequently, because if you go to that, and you can go click on the month, and then every day of the month there's some special day going on.
A new saying.
There's no sayings. It's just the day. So when I might pick any given day could have as many as 2 or 3 different days. Yesterday I think it was yesterday, was Moon Day.
Oh,
was
the
one
type
of them.
day, yeah.
Yeah.
So I went with the Moon Day
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
came up with the rest of it from that, and that's where I'll go to that a lot for, because they have some really off the wall holidays.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take a whole lot of imagination to come up with something to
Right.
tickle that for a.
I wonder who comes up with those.
I have no
Oh.
idea. but
How that
there's-
works.
There's at least one for every day of
Right.
the year, and sometimes there's 3 or 4.
I don't
So.
remember having that growing up. I think that's a new, I might be wrong, but I feel like that's a new thing now, lately.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're community specific
Right.
to like these people. Like
Right.
my wife is from Michigan. She's from the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. She's spoken very highly of both of you. And the area is called the UP, and it's kind of like the backwoods, like Maine, and they have all these sayings, all these little like quips about them. That it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and it's a community thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it must be. So you get a lot of your ideas from that site.
I get a lot of them from that. Sometimes I just Google funny wine signs, and it'll come up with a slew of them.
That was
and
the most
c-
recent one, right?
That was today. Today was, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy wine. Same thing, kinda.
Yeah.
But Annie is usually the brunt of the
Yeah.
wine signs, and then the beer signs, I take the hit for those. So it's and those are the ones that usually get the most reaction as far as likes on the, because we post it every day. We change the sign every day. We change Shorty's outfit every day.
Here she is.
So
Well, that's every day. You have to be creative every single day. That's a lot of work. But I think it generates a lot of exposure to your site. And how many Facebook likes do you have?
I was just telling Annie that we only need 25 more to get to 3,600.
Oh, wow. And you have
Nice.
3,800 on your email?
We have 800 on the email on
800,
the,
okay.
the subscriber list for we have a newsletter
Okay.
that we send out every week.
Yeah.
That and that came about at the beginning of the year because a lot of the people said that they hadn't been seeing our signs, and it was because Facebook made a change to their algorithm that
Yeah.
even though we've had at that point it was over 3,000 likes,
Right.
if I didn't boost, it might only be seen by 100 or 150 people.
Yeah, it's too bad
But I
that it does
boost,
that.
and last year I was boosting $10 a day, and they would give a range of between this number and that number.
Right.
Will see this post. Well, they cut back on that too, so I increased it to $15 a day at the beginning of the year. And even though I've increased it by 50%, it's decreased 22% as far as the number of people that see it, even when I boost it.
Oh.
So if people don't, and the more people that like it or share it or comment,
Then it-
that'll increase the number of
Right.
people that'll see it. But
Yeah, that can be frustrating.
it's very
Oh.
frustrating
Yeah.
because they know they got you.
Right.
Right.
And people want to see your stuff. They're just not able to see it because of Facebook.
Well, that's why I used Constant Contact a few years ago when we were just doing, we had the Narrows studio, but we also did a lot of craft shows, a lot down the Cape in particular. And I started using Constant Contact
Yeah.
for that and building a list for that to let people know where we were going to be for the whatever show we were doing that weekend. For probably 3 years in a row, we did over 30 craft shows
Wow.
a year, and that just got to be too labor intensive that we just said, getting too old for
Yeah,
that
that's
trick.
every
Hate
week.
traffic and
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's tough.
we had decided that we were going to look for a store.
Yeah. Now people can come to you instead
Yeah.
of it's more inbound than hopefully than
Yeah.
having to reach out.
And it gave us the chance to, I've always loved fashion and clothing and shopping, and I wanted the chance to have some of that aside from just my jewelry, like have some apparel in there. And that's when the consignment idea kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the Narrows, I loved the Narrows. It was a wonderful venue to work in.
Oh, absolutely.
But we could only have in the studio things that I made, like nothing that I bought or anything like that.
Okay.
So you know, it was just a different world. You
Yeah,
know?
restriction. Yeah.
Although the first time when Frank first showed me the storefront in Somerset, I was like, no way.
Really?
There's no way I can fill this. Like, it looked gigantic.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
now today I'm trying to.
It's pretty full.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it look more spacious than it is. It just evolved. You know, it just continued to change.
Yeah.
But my first thought was, no, and it was tempting though, because I've lived in Somerset my whole life, and I wanted to have my shop in Somerset. That
Yeah.
seemed like a really
Meaningful, yeah.
yeah, a good fit. I mean, I grew up right down the street here, you know, like, and so that part of it, I couldn't let that go. Like, I was like, oh, you know, well,
Yeah.
you know, and then it was funny. When we first started the consignment, I had plenty of jewelry, you know, stuff that I had moved from the Narrows, but we didn't have any consignment clothing. So my sister Cindy and we went through our closets and we just took out everything that we decided we weren't wearing anymore. And that was our first few racks of
It
consignment
works.
clothing.
It works, yeah.
And it didn't take that long before people started to come in, you
Right.
know, like, but that was the beginning. It was like, oh, bring this in and bring this in, you know, like, and you know, we still do that too, but now we have 700.
We have over 700 consigners now.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We have new consigners all the time.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit.
Well, they're not all active. I mean,
Yeah.
No,
it's
some
all-
of them
it's all at the same
have
time.
been
They're-
like a one-shot deal. Some come in once or twice a year, you know. But we have some that are in every other week or so, bringing stuff in, and you know, it's nice stuff. And
Are people from the community able to donate as well, or do we have to go, you know, if we have clothes that secondhand, where do we bring them?
Well, we do. We take it on Friday and Saturday. We do the clothing intake, and it's for the resale for the consignment end of it. We limit it to the high end women's stuff, the Chicos, the Talbots, things like that. And Annie, because of the type of store that we wanted to have, a lot of consignment stores in particular. Well, I won't say a lot because I don't know what, because I hate shopping. But a lot of consignment stores, from what I've heard from customers, there's a particular, there may be an odor, and the racks are so full that
it's
you
like
can't.
just a musty odor that
Yeah.
I wanted to avoid that at all costs.
That's
you know,
true.
like
I've smelled that before.
Yes,
Yep.
and you know, it's just they're packed in there, and I didn't want that. I didn't want packed in. Like, I wanted room to move and
Yeah.
look at things, and you know.
So Annie's very selective on the stuff that she does take in, and we made a change about a year ago, not quite a year ago, but almost a year ago, that we work on a 60-day consignment agreement, and after 60 days, the people could come in and pick up what hadn't sold, and we'd give them a week or two to come in and pick up the stuff. But we had a lot of people that weren't coming in for 2 or 3 or 4 months to pick stuff up,
Yeah.
and we just don't have storage.
We have no
We don't have any
storage.
storage space in the store. And then,
Yeah.
and then a couple of years ago, we made a connection with the Firefighters Wives Association,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
and so now anything that, and people could choose. They could say, all right, I'll pick the stuff up, or no, I've got it out of the house, get rid of it. And so we donate it to the Firefighters
Oh,
Wives.
great.
But about a year ago, we made the switch to, at the end of 60 days, anything that hasn't sold, we donate. And you know, I'm sure we've lost a few consigners, but
Just
not
a
not
few,
a
though.
lot.
Most people have the attitude that once it's out of the house,
Yeah, they're
they
done.
don't want
Right.
it back.
Yeah,
you know,
that's-
like,
Right.
and they like the idea of the Firefighters Wives Association because, you know, it's different and it's something that could strike anybody at any time. And, you know, you get burned out in a fire, you still have to go to work, you know, and,
Right.
and so this is, you know, I myself really liked it when we got to know Sharon Furtado.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh my God, like she just, she doesn't stop, you know.
Yep.
Like, so she comes in about once a month, she picks up, we get the clothes off the floor, she picks them up, takes them to the warehouse, sorts them out and makes it look like a store so that people who have the need can come in there and not feel as if they're, you know, they're settling. They have choices.
secondhand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have choices.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
great.
we've
I'm amazed
donated.
at what she has over there. Like,
Oh yeah.
I volunteered to help her one Saturday morning moving stuff around, and
Yeah.
I couldn't even comprehend how much stuff they had.
It's impressive. It's unbelievable, and it's all, you know. She's the impetus for it. I mean,
Right.
she's the one that just.
I need to head over there. I haven't been. Sounds great.
I'll bet we've donated over 500 bags of clothes
Wow.
to them over the last two plus years, however long it's been
Yeah.
since we made that first connection. She was just in again last week and
Yep.
picked up another 15 bags.
So how did you start marketing your business? I know you do a lot of social media
Well-
now, and we'll get to that in a minute. But
Well, retail is just a whole different animal to me. I had a financial services business for 37 years, and before I retired in 2010, and it was just a whole different animal. So retail to me, and retail again because, as I said, I hate shopping. I'd rather stick needles in my eyes than go shopping. Annie's been a shopaholic all her life,
I love shopping.
so it's you know, that aspect of it. When we decided to open the store, at least we had the studio for a few years, so we got a little bit going. But even then was primarily Facebook and the constant contact. But when we opened the store, it was you know, we knew we had to do more. We started out with some magazine advertising in the local magazines, and we've gone, you know, we've done a lot there. We've kind of cut back on that primarily because it's coming from Facebook.
Yeah,
it is.
The new
Everybody who
customers.
walks through the door.
But the magazines, the locals, the Insider magazine and the Prime Times magazine, we always had good response from those ads, because when we put ads in there, we'd use locals. We'd take a picture of our customers when they bought a poncho or something like
people
that. We'd
recognize
take a picture of the customer. We'd use that picture for the ad in the magazine. So
Yeah.
you know, so a lot of people liked
engage with
that idea because
Right.
they'd recognize, you know, we didn't have some supermodels for, you know, that nobody looks like anyway. But, you know, that went over well. And from day one when we opened the store, somebody walks in the door, my first question to them is this your first time in? And then follow it up with, how did you hear about us?
Right.
And I'd say 75–80% of the new customers are coming from Facebook. So that's why we've expanded the Facebook advertising,
Yeah.
because that's where they're coming. And people will come in. That we've had so many people come in the store that before I can even ask them how they heard about us, I've been following Shorty and your signs for months. I've been
Right.
dying to get in here, and
They're so entertaining.
we're finally here. And
Yeah.
Everybody does know Shorty. Like,
Well, it's true, and I knew about you before the whole Facebook craze, with when you started to really push on Facebook with Shorty and everything. But I mean, I have an obsession with your scarves. I think I own about 10 of them. I should have worn it today, but I didn't. It's too warm.
Yeah.
But I love your scarves and everything that you sell. But I did start to notice, and even being obsessed with the scarves already, I was even more engaged with your, you know, outpouring of your marketing, your campaigns. So tell us about, so one day we saw, there was rumor about you posing these mannequins it started with the gazebo in the center of town. I'm like, what do you mean? The mannequins, the gazebo, what's going on? And, so, but then I started to see the posts and it all made sense and it's hysterical and it's so great. And so tell us about that.
Well, when the town has done a beautiful job with that green,
looks good.
At the intersection there of Buffington and County Streets. And I looked out there one day and there was a gazebo. And so one day when I was, it had probably only been there, it hadn't been there too long because the grass wasn't even in yet.
Yeah.
And so I went out, I was bringing Shorty out to put her out on the sidewalk for that day's picture. And I'm looking at the gazebo and I thought, hey, what the hell? We'll take Shorty and bring some of her sisters over there. So I made 3 trips over, carrying 2 of them on each trip.
I couldn't stop laughing.
And I
was looking out the store window and I'm thinking, this can't really be happening. He's marching over there with mannequins under each arm and setting them up.
And you thought that was it, right?
I did. I did not. Are you kidding me? I had no idea how this was going to mushroom.
But when I posted that picture of the mannequins in the gazebo, and I boosted it that day, that got way over 200 likes. So then I started thinking, well, it's they like the mayor. Bring them around town. So it started from there. I took them. I brought them here one day. The same day I brought them, I set up 4 of them in the crosswalk going into Pierce's Beach, and like the picture from
Abbey Road.
Abbey Road,
like
the Beatles album, and that got a ton of likes too. And so I took them one day up to the baseball fields. Took 9 of them. Up to the baseball fields.
Wind,
oh
right?
yeah.
The minute he'd set one up, the other one would fall down. He'd set that one up, another one would fall. Finally, they had to have a group picture.
Yeah.
A team picture.
Yeah.
They all had Somerset Raiders, right? Somerset Berkeley Raiders hats on.
Yeah. And then I took them to the basketball courts at the Pottersville School. I took them to the library. I've taken them all over
the
town.
The lifeguard chair at Pierce's.
Yeah.
The jail at the Somerset police station.
He had Shorty in jail at the police station.
She had too much 4th of July fun. Yeah.
That's what it was.
The police were so nice to allow us to do it too.
Yeah, I went a week or so before to ask if we could do that, and he said just call ahead to make sure we don't have any guests.
Right. Other guests. Yeah.
Right.
Live ones.
Yeah.
Oh, she's been on school buses.
The school bus one for some reason made me laugh the most. I don't know why.
She's
standing
been to,
there. Well, I mean.
She's been to the Pottersville pub.
I don't know what to call it, but
well,
yeah, she's standing.
She gets around.
Right.
So when that started kicking out, when people started really responding to that and thinking, enjoying it, then I came up with the idea of, and I talked to George Austin at the Spectator about, maybe we can do something to raise some money for a local charity, and we came up with Raiders Remember.
We all appreciate it
so
much.
And what we came up with was between now and the end of September, about a dozen businesses have committed to making a donation to Raiders Remember, and once a week we'll meet up with George and myself and Holly, and we'll have that business owner present a check to Shorty, and or one of the Twisted Sisters.
Yeah.
One of
the Twisteds are a better bet because they
have
the arms.
Right.
You can manipulate their arms so they can. So
I've loved doing that. So far, we've only done a couple of different businesses, but it's great because it gives exposure to you while going towards a good cause. Raiders Remember, it gives us exposure. And it gives the business exposure too. And there's an article in the Spectator every week about it, and there will be till September, and kind of a running tally of who wants to be involved, and anyone can donate, right? So,
anyone can donate.
Anybody.
Doesn't have to be. There's no minimums or maximums. It doesn't matter whether it's $5 or $10 or we had one of our customers came in and accepted the challenge, because when I put it on Facebook,
So nice.
I put it as
Yeah.
we're challenging our customers to raise some money for Raiders Remember. And we had one of our customers come in last week with a check.
So
and
thankful.
so we'll see, hopefully that'll generate some more.
Absolutely.
And they can either mail the check to Raiders Remember, or they can come in and drop it off at the store.
Yeah.
And we'll just stockpile them until the next time I see you. And
Yeah, we really appreciate the contribution and the effort and the inspiration. It's been great. So I look forward to the next few weeks and
Like it's amazing though. Like that, I've been involved with Raiders Remember, and because I have other things going on, I kind of have stepped a little bit away from it.
that's how we met, actually.
And yes, that's how
Yeah.
exactly how we met. And it's amazing what they've been able to do
Well,
over the
you
years,
too.
right?
You were a huge part of it.
Well,
Yeah. So couldn't have done it without John. That event was such a fun event.
It's perfect for the community, though, I think, to tie the community in with the Raiders. Like, that's perfect, you know?
It's the alumni. It's our kind of our foundation, our roots.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
education, and
absolutely.
it breeds the community, and it kind of breeds a good
It
ecosystem.
gives back, you know, like it gives
Right.
back.
It just feeds itself. So
we wanted to keep things local.
Yeah,
which is why we came
absolutely.
up with the local businesses. And
Right.
everybody makes a big deal about Small Business Saturday in
Right.
on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, but that's
We
one
vote
day
every
a
other
year.
day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
you know?
The small businesses need the support of the community as much as the community needs the support of the small businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, how do people, besides going into the store, how do they get in touch with you if they have questions or?
Well, we have our Facebook page. They can get in touch with us at the store. We use our cell phone numbers as our business numbers, so
Oh,
it's
wow.
it's
Yeah.
one and the same. We don't have a separate business number.
Okay.
But they can probably the easiest way is through Facebook. Because we've got the phone number is
Right.
listed on Facebook. So it's
great.
and we're open 7 days a week. So we're open Monday through Saturday from 10 to 5 and Sunday 11:30 to 4:30. So it's pretty easy to get a hold of
What
us.
about these necklaces? I know there's a special story behind.
There is. These are called I call them waterfall necklaces, but they're made with Kazuri beads. I have a friend, Bill Malloy, who founded the Africa Teacher Foundation 10 years ago. And in that foundation, he travels to Kenya, and he sets up teaching workshops for the Kenyan teachers so that they can, learn a lot about the different things that are going on, because they don't have much of an opportunity. And while he was there, he discovered this factory, and it's called the Kazuri Bead Factory. It's a state-sponsored factory where women who have been abused or they have diseases, or in one way or another they've been ostracized from the community, they can live at the factory. They have housing at the factory. They paint the beads by hand, and then they glaze them, and then they fire them. And they also have medical care and courses in like entrepreneurship and learning how to save your own money and things like that. So it's a really worthwhile thing. So for the past 3 years, he's been bringing back a bunch of beads, and I make this type of necklace, and I make some little ones too. Like I'm the fan of the biggest necklace possible is the one that I want. But a lot of people like the smaller ones, and we make the smaller ones too. And we donate 20% of whatever we sell the necklaces for back to the Africa Teacher Foundation, and then they take it to the factory and in Nairobi.
Excellent.
So yeah,
awesome.
it's very, and they're beautiful. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
And they're all
like-
unique.
And they're all
whole bin
unique.
of-
They're all unique.
Yeah.
You know, like. So yeah, it's a definitely. Oh, I love it. Sometimes I love to just play with them. I'll like put them into designs, and
Yeah.
then I don't really make anything. I put them back together, but they're really they're I think one of our more attractive. I'm still really close to the clay jewelry. I love the clay jewelry. I've always loved the clay jewelry, but
And that you make.
yeah,
right?
yeah. But we've just branched out a little bit. Like we're just, and I just love the idea of the free trade idea that these beads have a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just
Right.
they're not just baubles. Like they're meaning something.
Great. Well, thank you both for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're a true display of the small business, foundation in Somerset, and you're giving back, and you're philanthropists, and it's really great to talk with you and learn about your business. So, thank you all for watching. We need to come together as a town and act as one. We need to collaborate and move forward. We need to help each other keep each other informed so that we can make educated decisions for our town. Please reach out to us if you have any ideas or ideas for guests for this show. We would love to hear from you. Please visit our website, somersetroundtable.com, or email us at info@somersetroundtable.com. Thank you.